What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the potential budget of Hogwarts Legacy. This is something that you kind of see here and there. Sometimes people that have worked on the game, right, developers, sometimes they'll like sneak it into their LinkedIn profiles, and it's like, oh, that's a cool little fact, right, of how much it costs to make this game. We're pretty sure this is Hogwarts Legacy. It's not 1,000% confirmed, but judging by who this individual is, where he was working, the time period he was working on a certain thing on, it does seem like it kind of has to be Hogwarts. There'd be no other game that Avalanche has worked on that would justify, I think, a $180 million budget. And there you go. That's the rumor number, $180 million. So this comes from Adrian Ropp, and he was originally the head of story. He stepped down into becoming a lead writer, and he even says on his own profile he stepped down as head of story due to a medical emergency, but Hogwarts was 85% complete at the time. And then you go down to a small section of my successes include, and again, like, I don't know what other game it could be, right? Produced and presented 100 plus hours of engaging content by acting as story lead for the cinematics team, a proposed innovative idea for storyline of massive game worth $180 million. And so he started that July 2016 onward, and he works at Avalanche. What else happened between July to, July of 2016 on had to have been, I believe, Hogwarts Legacy. So the reason I just kind of wanted to throw this out, number one, it's always interesting, I think, to figure out game budgets. You've gotten some games that are in the $200 or $300 million ranges. Actually, you think about some of the bigger open world games, or even some of the bigger budgeted games of all time. I'd say $180 million is kind of within the norm nowadays. You have some of the Horizons of the world, or obviously a lot of people have kind of picked that Halo Infinite, right? $500 million. There are some games that get absolutely ridiculous. 180, I mean, that's an enormous amount, right? If you told people 15 years ago that that's how much a game would cost, they would be very, very shocked. But it's honestly kind of within the norm. And with that being said, you gotta be successful. Like, you gotta sell at that point 5, 6, 7 million, maybe units in order to kind of break even or start making money. So obviously the risk is there, and that is a part of this too. Like, I'm happy to see that because you have such a huge budget. This game was kind of like a do or die thing, right? Like, they threw, if a game like this fails, and we've seen it so often in the gaming industry now, right? You get like one chance. If your game, because games cost 100, 150, $200 million, if your game fails, you have leads that get fired, or they leave, or the studio gets restructured or downsized. It's kind of scary, honestly, because it is a business of you have to succeed, especially now, especially like in the economy now. You have to succeed. There's really not a lot of room for failures, and even less so for massive failures. If you have a game that costs, say, $180 or $200 million to release, and the game goes on to sell 2 million units, that is not good enough. And again, like, something is going to happen to that team. The odds of something not happening are next to zero, because you just have to kind of, quote unquote, fix that situation, before, whatever happens, before it happens again. And you're probably not going to be able to do it again. You're not going to be able to make another game, or maybe you're going to be a support team. We've seen that happen in the gaming industry, right? So it's a cool little success story, I guess, on two fronts. Number one, it was a risk. It was a risk, and they blew it away. And that goes into number two. Not only did they make their money back, right? And they said, okay, well, this is a big risk, and we're going to go for it. But it's in line with some of the bigger games that have come out. But not only that, I mean, they made an insane, over $1 billion, right? They made so much money on this game. So, yeah, if you're WB, you made probably $1 billion of profit off of this game, even after all the money that they spent. So you can bet, by the way, in case anybody didn't think that there would be more Hogwarts Legacy games or more Wizarding World games, I don't care about the I mean, we've talked about the controversy so much, right? But I can tell you who doesn't care. They don't care, because they are swimming in like $1 billion+ of revenue simply for having this game to exist. So they could care less, I think, what some people online think about them, or think about JK, or think about the whole situation. So honestly, congrats to them, because now you can start to say, when they come out and they say game sold 18 million units, or game has made $1.5 billion, and then you could say, well, subtract what they just said, subtract the 180 from it, and then you're good. Then you know how much money WB made off that decision. So maybe they can do it again. Maybe it'll be slightly less. I don't know if it would always kind of continue. I feel like it would go down a little bit, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I I hope to see you all on the next one.